there, stampers and crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com. And today I'm going to show you how to make this super stinking cute 2-in-1 card. It's called a 2-in-1 card because it's part card and it's part ornament slash tag. Super cute, right? You can remove this snowman ornament and now you have a 2-in-1. It is very cool, easy to make, designed by my friend Elizabeth Thatcher for a swap that I just did recently. Alright, let's get started. Okay, and here's our card up close. Mine's a hair different than Elizabeth's because I used a different folder than she did. But our ornament tag just pops right out. You can hang it on the tree, use it as a tag. Super, super cute. Love the 2-in-1 card idea. And that just pops right back in place. Okay, here's how it's done. We're going to start with our stamping. I'm using 2 Stampin' Up stamp sets. The Christmas Magic for the Snowman, Banners for Christmas, for the banner and for the Merry Christmas. All of the supplies that I'm using today, as well as the measurements for this card, are available on my stampwithtami.com blog simply by going to this URL or clicking in the link in the YouTube description below. There's a free PDF file there for you with all the details. All of our stamping today is actually heat embossed. So the ink pad we're going to use for all of it is Versamark, which is a watermarking ink pad. Stays moist a little bit longer so it holds the powder. We can start with our snowman. We'll go ahead and stamp him on some vellum cardstock. This is available in my online store, and the Stampin' Up vellum cardstock is the best if you're heat embossing because it doesn't burn, it doesn't curl, it's a little bit thicker than regular vellum, and it's made for this type of crafting. Just got some scratch paper here from the printer. I'm just using that to catch excess embossing powder. The 3 colors of embossing powder we're using are gold, white, and black for this card. We're going to use black for the snowman. Just pour that right over the top. And flick the excess off. And then pour the excess right back in the jar. Little jars last forever. Next, we're going to stamp the banner. And then we're actually going to heat emboss before we stamp the words on the inside. Because we're using 2 different colors of embossing powder here, so we want one to dry before we pour the other powder over, where they're all mixed together. Like cats and dogs, not sure they get along. So the banner is going to be white on some cherry cobbler cardstock. Flick off the excess. Okay, now we're taking the Stampin' Up heat tool and we're going to melt this powder. There it goes. So awesome. And wow, we're melting. We'll go ahead and do our snowman. I'm melting! Melting! I guess I need to emboss a witch to do that one. So he's all heat embossed there on the vellum. And then we're going to do our words last. Stamp the Merry on top. We had to do the banner first so we could line up the words. Then the Christmas. And then pour some gold embossing powder right over the top of that. And we'll heat emboss that. Isn't that awesome? So cool. Now that our heat embossing is done, we're going to do some big shot work. Okay, we'll start with our cutting. I've got the magnetic platform, 1 cutting pad. Doesn't matter which piece you cut first. I'm going to start with the Night of Navy. I should add, it doesn't matter what piece you cut first, but you definitely want to cut the ornament shape out of the Night of Navy before you use the impressions folder. All right, we'll squash it. So I've got 3 sets of framelits for this card. We've got bunch of banners, layering circles, and the new Merry tags from the Holiday Catalog. And it's this piece from the Merry tags that we want for our Night of Navy. From the center a little bit towards the top. Go ahead and run that through with a cutting pad on top. And that will cut out our ornament shape. While we've got this ornament out, we're going to also cut it out of some gold glimmer paper. Ooh, shimmery. Super fun. We're going to make one more cut with that ornament shape, and that is to cut out our snowman. And at the same time, we can also cut out the center of the ornament. And that will be using the third smallest layering circles. So just line that up. This is where the magnetic platform is awesome because it holds it in place. And sometimes it's like a little Ouija board when things when you put the metal down and it moves with the magnet. And then one cutting pad on top and crank that through. And that gives us our ornament and our snowman. And our last cut of the day comes from the bunch of banners dies. It's this banner. This is such a cool set, new in the big annual Stampin' Up catalog. So that just lines up perfectly over this banner. The banner was actually made to go with the framelit. Cutting pad on top and crank it through. One more piece of Big Shot. We're going to swap out the magnetic platform for the regular Big Shot platform that comes with Big Shot. Now we've got a texture folder. This one is Softly Falling. Elizabeth originally used the Sparkles Impressions folder, but I don't have that one, so I'm substituting this one. Just place our panel inside and sandwich that between two cutting pads and crank it back through. Isn't that awesome? Very, very cool. So I'm not sure which one I like better, the Softly Falling or the sparkle that Elizabeth did, but I like them both a lot. They're awesome. Okay, so we're just going to take some scissors and trim off the very top of this ornament from the snowman. We don't need that. And then either mini glue dots, if you like the green glue, you can use that. I'm just going to use some snail adhesive because I'm addicted to it. It's a double-sided tape. I'm just taping the back of the ornament, poking any extra. And then we'll just line that up over the snowman. We have this really cool gold baker's twine that looks way better, I think, than the gold cord. Unfortunately, I didn't have it handy, so I'm using some gold cord for the top of this ornament. My apologies. But I will put the order number for the new gold baker's twine on the supply list because it looks awesome. Just going to take a loop it through the front. And there we go. Tie that on there. Tie one on. And next it is all assembly with Stampin' Dimensionals. Dimensionals on the back of our greeting banner. Attach that to the front of our navy panel. And then we're just going to actually piece our ornament into that hole that we created. It fits perfectly right in there. I left the cording on the back so it doesn't pop out when you don't want it to pop out. And some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of that will attach it to the front of our basic gray card base. I would line the inside of this with some Whisper White for your greeting and trim up your cord or baker's twine. And then that just pops out for your tag or your ornament. And you can pop it back in for your card. It's a 2-in-1 special. So very, very cool. Thanks again to Elizabeth Thatcher for designing this awesome, awesome card. The free PDF is available on my stampwithtami.com blog. And be sure to sign up for my newsletter there because I send out free card tutorials every Tuesday. Thanks for joining me today.